Were dragons actually real? What if I told you that dragons might not just be creatures of legend? There's actual evidence out there that could change everything you thought you knew about these mythical beasts. From mysterious fossils to strange bones, scientists have uncovered findings that might make you question the stories passed down through the ages. Stick around, because number 1 on our list is so mind-blowing you won't believe it. Number 10. The Dragon Skull in South Dakota. In 2004, something strange was uncovered in South Dakota. It was a skull that no one could immediately identify. The find was made by 3 amateur paleontologists, and its origins left experts scratching their heads. It didn't look like anything they had seen before. The skull was handed over to the Children's Museum of Indianapolis, where it sat in storage for 2 years while experts tried to make sense of it. The skull had bizarre features, outgrowths that made it look like it belonged to some kind of an ancient unknown creature. As more research was done, it was suggested that the skull might belong to a very large prehistoric reptile, maybe even something that resembled a dragon. In fact, museum visitors started calling it Dracorex Hogwarts after a magical creature from Harry Potter because of its dragon-like appearance. The most striking feature? Its size. Based on the skull's measurement, scientists estimated the creature could have been about 3 meters long as a baby. Imagine how large it might have been as an adult. Though most experts now agree it's just remains of a giant prehistoric reptile, the mystery of its true identity still lingers. Could this creature have been a distant relative of the dragons we know in myth? Number 9. The Ecostone. Evidence of humans and dinosaurs together. In 1966, Dr. Javier Cabrera received a strange gift, an ancient stone with an intricate engraving of a fish. It didn't seem out of the ordinary at first, but as Cabrera's collections of such stones grew to over 15,000 pieces, he began to notice a bizarre pattern. Some of these stones depicted creatures that looked remarkably like dinosaurs, but there was one catch: humans were often shown alongside them. One particular stone stand out, with an image of a human riding a dinosaur, which is impossible according to mainstream science. Dinosaurs went extinct millions of years before humans appeared on Earth. So, how could these two pieces have coexisted? The authenticity of the ecostones have been fiercely debated. Skeptics argue that they're hoaxes or simply the result of natural erosion. But others, like collector Santiago Calva, claim to have found similar artifacts during excavation in ancient tombs. And while the stone's origins remain unclear, the idea that ancient humans could have encountered dinosaurs isn't as far-fetched as it sounds. Number 8. The dragon petroglyphs in North America. Across North America, ancient petroglyphs and rock carving depict creatures that closely resemble dragons, sparking speculation that ancient cultures might have witnessed real dragon-like creatures. One of the most famous examples comes from Anasazi tribe in Canada, who created a petroglyph over 2,000 years ago. It shows the giant elongated-like creatures with an elongated head, clawed feet, and what appears to be massive wings. Another striking example is found in Utah's San Rafael's Well, where a rock carving estimated to be around 4,000 years old depicts a similar creature, again with wings and a long snout-like head. These depictions are fascinating because they suggest that ancient people may have been inspired by real animals that closely resembles the mythical dragons we know today. What's even more intriguing is that these petroglyphs aren't isolated. Similar dragon creatures appear in rock art across the world, from Africa to Asia, reinforcing the idea that these beings weren't just figments of imagination. Were these ancient humans depicting creatures they actually saw? Or were they imagining things? Some theories suggest that these creatures could have been large reptiles or even prehistoric creatures, like giant flying reptiles, whose remains have yet to be discovered. Number 7. The mystery skeleton in China. In 2017, something strange was uncovered in a village in China that would leave anyone with a curiosity for the unknown intrigued. A group of locals in Zhangjiakou stumbled upon a skeleton that didn't match anything they'd ever seen before. It measured a staggering 18 meters in length and had a body made up of many segments, kind of like a serpent. The most unusual part? The skull resembled that of a cow, but everything else screamed dragon. The discovery sent waves of excitement and fear through the village. Some locals were so convinced they had found the remains of a real dragon that they were too frightened to touch it. They believed desecrating the skeleton could bring bad luck. Others, however, didn't share the same hesitation. They climbed on it and took photos, as if they were facing something straight out of a mythical legend. Scientists never got a chance to properly investigate the skeleton, as it was quickly dismissed by the locals and officials, who declared it a movie prop. But the most bizarre part of the story? The skeleton disappeared mysteriously and no one seems to know where it went. could this have been another hoax, or was this a genuine discovery of something out of a fantasy? Number 6. The Flying Reptile of Queensland. In 2021, something extraordinary was uncovered in Queensland, Australia. While scientists were digging through ancient layer of earth, they stumbled upon a fragment of a prehistoric flying creature. This wasn't just any ordinary animal. It had a 7-meter wingspan and a skull about a meter long, with 40 teeth in both its upper and lower jaws. It clearly wasn't your average bird or bat. Paleontologists believe this creature was part of a rare group of flying reptiles called Anomera, which lived over 100 million years ago. The creature's long neck and compact body suggest it was a proficient hunter, perhaps feeding on fish. But what makes this discovery even more fascinating is how closely it resembles descriptions of dragons in myths and legends. Flying reptiles like Anomera are not often discovered in their entirety. Most of what we know comes from fragments. This find in Queensland, however, has given scientists more insight into these ancient creatures. Some of the most notable features of Anomera are the palatal ridges on its jaws, which help stabilize it while flying, kind of like how dragons in stories are said to have powerful wings that help them soar through the skies. Could creatures like Anomera have inspired the dragon myths passed down through generations? The possibility is certainly there. Number 5. The giant dragon bones found in Brazil. In 2018, a groundbreaking discovery in a remote forest of Brazil left scientists astounded. A team of paleontologists uncovered the remains of an enormous flying reptile, estimated to have a wingspan of around 11 meters, making it one of the largest pterosaurs ever discovered, known as Tupandactylus imperator. This colossal creature roamed the skies over 70 million years ago during the late Cretaceous period. What makes this find so significant is how closely the features of Tupandactylus imperator resemble the traditional depictions of dragons in folklore. The pterosaur had an elongated head with a large crest, resembling the horned features often seen on dragon illustrations. And it was capable of soaring high above the earth, much like the legendary beast described in myth. It also had sharp teeth and a long serpent-like body, adding to its dragon-like appearance. Paleontologists believe this giant pterosaur could have had a diet consisting of small fish and marine life, hunting from the air much like a modern-day eagle. But the sheer size and unique features of the flying reptile, especially its skull structure, evoked images of dragons with their massive wings, sharp teeth, and fierce hunting abilities. Could these giant flying reptiles have been the source of inspiration for dragon myths in cultures around the world? The sheer scale and imposing nature of creatures like Tupandactylus imperator may have sparked the idea of the terrifying dragons that guard treasures or battle ancient heroes. With this new discovery, it is easier to see how myths about dragons could have been inspired by encounters with real, prehistoric creatures that soar through the skies. Number 4. The dragon myths across cultures. From ancient Chinese to European folklore, dragon appears in mythologies worldwide. These majestic creatures are often depicted as wise, powerful, and sometimes terrifying, guarding creatures or causing chaos. What's fascinating is that many of these dragon myths share similarities, despite originating from cultures with little to no contact with each other. For example, in Chinese mythology, dragons are seen as benevolent, symbol of power, strength, and good fortune. They're often associated with water, rain, and storms. On the other hand, in European mythology, dragons are typically portrayed as menacing beasts, hoarding gold or terrorizing villages. One of the most famous stories is that of Saint George, who slayed a dragon to save a princess. What's even more fascinating is the physical characteristics that all these dragons share. They usually have scaly bodies, sharp claws, and often the ability to fly or breathe fire. But could these dragons have been based on real creatures, like giant reptiles or flying dinosaurs? Some theorists believe this myth have been inspired by the discovery of prehistoric animals that resemble the dragon of legend. Number 3. The mysterious feather found in a mammoth tusk. In 2013, an Alaskan gold miner named John Reeves made a shocking discovery that would leave even the most skeptical amongst us scratching our heads. While working on his land in Alaska's Barnyard, a place famous for preserving prehistoric bones, Reeves found something extraordinarily large inside a mammoth tusk, an unusual feather. Yes, you heard that right, a feather. Now, why is this important? Because the feather appears to be from a creature that could have been related to the ancient flying reptiles that many believe were the inspiration of dragon legends. The feather is unlike any known birds, with this intricate structure and size. Could it be that this feather belonged to a flying reptile, possibly something akin to a pterosaur? And what if that creature could have inspired the stories of dragons? The discovery of the feather alone suggests we might not fully understand the creatures that once roamed the earth and how those creatures could have influenced our ancient myths. Number 2. The Dighton Rock petroglyphs. The Dighton Rock in Massachusetts is a boulder covered with petroglyphs, ancient carvings that have baffled historians for centuries. The carvings shows a variety of images, including animals, geometric shapes, and mysterious symbols. Among these images, however, there's one that stands out. A long, snake-like creature with what appears to be wings. Could this creature have been a real-life dragon? Some experts believe this could be a depiction of a flying reptile, or possibly even an encounter with a species unknown to science. The carvings have led some to believe that these indigenous people of North America were telling a story about a creature that was part of their oral history. A creature so powerful and awe-inspiring, it was etched into stone. Number 1. The mosasaurus, the dragon of the sea. Now, hold on to your seats, because number 1 is going to blow your mind. In 2017, a groundbreaking discovery was made that could change everything we thought we knew about the history of dragons. Paleontologists uncovered the remains of a massive marine reptile called the mosasaurus, a creature so dragon-like, it's hard to ignore the possibility that ancient cultures could have been describing this very creature when they talked about dragons. The mosasaurus lived during the late Cretaceous period, around 70 million years ago, and it was an apex predator of the seas. With its powerful tail, streamlined body, and sharp teeth, it could easily be mistaken for a sea dragon. What makes the mosasaurus so fascinating is that it lived at the same time as the dinosaurs. Yet it had features that closely resembles the dragon of myth: long, snake-like bodies, sharp claws, and the ability to swim through the water like a torpedo. Scientists believe the mosasaurus could have swum across the oceans, hunting prey with its massive jaw and razor-sharp teeth. Imagine a creature that could move like a torpedo, hunting down fish and other sea creatures in a deep, dark ocean. Its appearance, similar to what we think of when we imagine sea serpents or dragons, makes you wonder, could ancient people have seen creatures like this and turned them into legends? After all, tales of giant sea serpents and dragons have existed for centuries in cultures all around the world. Some even believe that the discovery of mosasaurus fossils in ancient seas could have been the source of those dragon myths. With its dragon-like traits, it's easy to see how this massive creature could have inspired stories passed down through generations. So, what do you think? Could ancient creatures like Dracoryx hogwartia and the mosasaurus have inspired the dragon myths we all know today? With so many mysterious finds and legends that span cultures, it's fascinating to consider how reality and myth might overlap. If you enjoyed diving into these dragon mysteries, don't forget to hit the like button and subscribe for more amazing discoveries. Share this video with your friends. Let's see if we can uncover even more hidden truths about the creatures of legends.